I'm going to be working through PowerPoint guided project for chapter 2, and we started working on it last week in class. We didn't get too far, so if you got through the steps in class, you can kind of fast forward through the video. I'm not going to go through how to download and save the files. If you need to get reminded about that, you can watch one of the earlier videos where we actually go into SimNet and download the files. We're going to start from what you see on my screen, so I've already got the files downloaded and opened, and I'm going to go through and save it before we start. So I'm going to go to File and Save As, and I'm going to choose my desktop so that I can find the file I edit later. I have a clean copy, or the downloaded copy still saved in my downloads folder if I ever have to go back and start over. So we are going to be doing in this project a lot of graphics. So we're going to be adding smart art, a pie chart, a column chart, and then some word art. What I hope you realize as we're going is that a lot of the steps we go through are going to be exactly the same as they were in Word. We're just doing them on a slide now instead of in a document. So hopefully some of this stuff will be seem like you've done it before, and what you'll also probably notice is that as we do the pie chart and then the column chart, those steps are very similar. Most of what we're doing in this project is all visual. We're not changing too much of the content. So we're going to jump right into step number 3, and it says on slide 2, convert the bulleted text to a smart art graphic. So we're going to click on slide number 2, and we're going to highlight the 2 bullets, which is the white text, and then we are going to go to where it says insert and go over to, on the home tab. I'm jumping ahead of myself. In this paragraph group, you have a button that says convert to smart art. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to go down to where it says more smart art graphics. And in the instructions, it actually tells us to look for the relationship type. So over here on the left hand side of the menu, you have all the different kinds of smart art. Right now we're looking at all the different ones. You can click on the other sections to kind of narrow down your list. And so we're looking for relationship, and it tells us to choose the counterbalance arrows, which is one arrow going down kind of looks like a seesaw and one going up. So you choose it, and then you click OK. And then the next step in 3D, it says to apply the cartoon style. So what I want you to notice is that you have these 2 new tabs that show up when the smart art graphic is selected. This is the same as when you do a picture, a table. If the smart art's not selected, those tabs disappear. When I go back and choose the smart art, now I have design and format. So if you don't see design and format and the instructions are telling you to go there, it could be because the actual object is not active or selected. So in step 3D, it tells us to choose the cartoon style. So on the design tab, I have this whole section of styles. And if you hover your mouse over them, it gives you the name of the style, and it kind of gives you a screenshot in your slide of what it will look like if you chose that style. And as I am hovering, I happened to find the one that says cartoon. If I didn't see it, then I would click on this more button, and I could look at all of them. So cartoon is under 3D. I'm going to choose that one, and then I'm going to look for in 3E, it says to select the down arrow. So when I do that, what I want you to notice is that the entire shape has a white square, but then when I click on the down arrow, it also has a little outline and little dots on the corners, because each of these objects within my smart art graphic can be modified independently of the entire object. So I'm going to change the color of this down arrow. So it says to select the down arrow shape and click on the shape fill button. And so to get to there, I have to actually go to the format tab, and shape fill is a little bit left of the center. So I'm going to choose shape fill, and it says to go to the gradient, and I'm going to look for linear down in the dark variations. So just like with the shape styles, I hover my mouse over until I find the one I want, and then click it. And I'm going to do the same for the up arrow, except now I'm going to look for linear up. So click on the up arrow, go to format, and then shape fill. I'm going to go to gradient, and I'm going to look for linear up. And now we are done with our smart art. And so you can see we didn't change any of the words. We have the same words as were originally in our bulleted list. It just now makes it look a little bit more visually appealing. Gives us a better idea of exactly what we're talking about. Step 4 says after slide 2, insert a new slide with title and content. So on the home tab, if I have slide number 2 active, so that's what's in my big window, I'm going to go up to this section here that says slides, and I'm going to click on the words, not the picture, because I want to choose a specific layout. If I just clicked on the picture, it would default to title and content, which is what I'm looking for, but I want to show you that if you click on the words, it gives you all of the different layouts you can choose from. So we want to choose title and content. On slide 3 in step 5, it says to create a pie chart and modify it. So 5A says to type the title, employee salary satisfaction, and then it says to click the chart button. So whenever we do a new slide, we can either click and just start typing, and that'll add bullets to our slide, or we can click on one of these placeholders. So this kind of creates a space where that object will be sized to fit. So we want to click on the chart button, which is the columns, and we are looking for the pie chart. So just like with the styles, we can choose from the categories. We want pie, and in step 5C it says to click 3D pie. So again, just like with all the other options, if you hover, it gives you the name of the type of chart, and then we click OK. What's going to pop up on my screen now is a chart, and also this Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. This is how we create a chart. So we're going to modify the data. There's a picture in your instructions of what the table should look like. So the categories are very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, undecided, somewhat dissatisfied, and very dissatisfied. Okay. And then we're going to type in, the title is satisfaction percent, or the name of our data, and then we're going to just type in the numbers that are in the instructions. So 13, 36, 16, 24, and 11. And when you do that, what you're going to notice now is my labels here show up, and I did something by accident, but I want you to kind of take a look. If you notice in my Excel spreadsheet, I have this extra row that's empty, and when you look here on my graph, I have this little extra square. I don't want that, so I'm going to put my mouse here on this little rectangle or square, and I'm going to drag it up so that I only have the 5 rows with shading in the background. I don't want to have anything in this extra row, or I'll have an extra, basically it's like an extra data point that's missing. And so here's my chart. And when you're done editing the data from your instructions, then you can click on this X to close your slides. And now we're going to be working just in the chart. So it says to drag the chart title, I'm on step 5E, drag the chart title to the top left. So I'm going to just put my mouse over it, and you notice that when I have my 4 arrows is when I can pick it up and move it. So I'm just going to drag it over here, and it says to change the font size to 24. So I'm going to highlight everything. My shortcut menu should pop up. If it doesn't, you can go back to the home tab and change the size. But it went straight there. And then the next step, I'm on 5F, it says to click the chart elements button. That's this plus sign that shows up when the chart itself has been selected. So you see this little outline around the chart, the actual circle. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go to where it says legend, and it's not showing up on my screen. Let's see if I can get it to show up on this side. Let me minimize this just a bit for you so you can see. So legend, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to choose right. So now you notice that these objects, rather than being across the bottom, they're over here on the right side of the circle. And then I'm going to go, it says to increase the font size to 20. So I'm going to click on the outline so that it's solid, and then you don't actually have to highlight. And I'm going to right click and go to font, and then I'm going to change the font size. It says to 20. So click OK, and it makes the words bigger. And then it says to go to data legend. So in step 5H, it says select data labels, and then click on the arrow. We want it to be on the inside end. And so it adds numbers. The actual percentages we typed in show up in each piece of the pie. And then I'm going to click on the chart elements list and go to where it says data labels. Oops, sorry. Oops. Sorry, let me undo a few steps. Clicking on stuff. There we go. So now we're going to change the label size. So we're going to go to the Format tab. And over here, the upper left-hand corner of your toolbar, we want to choose the element we want to resize. So we're going to click on this drop-down area, and we want the series satisfaction percentage. And then we're going to increase the font size. So we're going to go to the Home tab, Format Selection, excuse me. And we're going to click on, oops, we don't have to do that. We're going to go to the Home tab. Yeah, there we go. Right click and go Font, and then we're going to change this to size 24. So again, let me show you that one more time because I kind of went through a few steps that maybe I didn't need to. So you're going to go to the Format tab, and in this arrow drop-down menu, you're going to go to Series, Percent, Satisfaction, Data Labels. So you're going to choose that, and then you're just going to right-click and go to Font, and then change the size to 24, and we want to also make it bold, which I missed the first time, so it's good that I went back, and then click OK. Okay, and now we're done playing with our chart. Moving on to step number 6. So in step 6 it says modify the table formatting. So we're going to go to slide number 4, and we're going to select the table. By clicking on it, you notice that it becomes active, and we're going to change the size of the font. So I'm going to go from the Home tab, and I'm going to go to the font box, and I'm going to change it to 20. And then it says select header row and banded rows. So when the table is active, you have a design and a layout tab. So to get it to the header row, you're going to go to the design tab. And over here on the left hand side of the toolbar, you have all your options. So we're going to put a check mark in the box that says header row and a check mark in the box that says banded rows. And then we're going to apply a theme. So these are the different styles we can choose from. Basically, they're just the backgrounds of the table. And you notice when I hover my mouse, the color changes. It lets me a preview of what the table will look like if I chose that particular style. And so I'm looking for themed style 1 accent 2. It is on my toolbar without having to click on the more button. It's this tannish color one. If you didn't see themed style 1 accent 2, you could click the more arrow, and now you have a whole bunch of them. So here is the style that I'm looking for. It's this tan colored background. And it says to then increase in step 6D, increase the table height to 4 inches. So to do that, you're going to go to the Layout tab, and right below the words Layout, you have the size options for your table. I'm going to click for height. I'm going to click in the box and type a number 4, and then hit Enter. And then I'm going to go to the option that says center vertically. So if you look right to the left of where your size was, you have these different layouts for inside these table cells. So center vertically happens to be this one in the second row. I'm going to click that. And then for just columns 2 through 4, so I'm going to highlight just the 2013, 2014, and the change. I'm going to change that to right alignment. So that's right above where we were, where it says center vertically. We're going to go up and to the right, and that takes us to align right. Okay. And so we're done modifying the table. Again, nothing really dealing with the content, just changing what it looks like. So the next step, we're on to step 7. It says after slide 4, insert a new slide with title and content. Title and content is the default, so technically I don't have to choose the words to insert my new slide. From the home tab, make sure slide 4 is in your screen and active with the red box around it. You're going to just click on the picture of the slide above the words new slide, and that adds a title and content slide. On this slide, we're going to create a column chart. So we're going to type in the title, which is listed in step 8A, salary change, comma, selected jobs with a capital J. And then it says to click the chart again. So we're still working with a chart, but now instead of a pie chart, we're going to create a column chart. And we are creating a 3D clustered column chart. So that happens to be this one, where you can kind of see the side view. And then we're going to click OK. And same thing's going to happen. You're going to get a box of data that pops up that you're going to modify. You'll see the same Excel dialog box pop up, which is where we can enter the data, and there's a picture in your instructions of what the labels should be, so we're going to just type it in. So project manager is the first thing in column A, applications, developer, security analyst, network manager, capital M, technical support, and then last is help desk. And instead of hitting enter, I'm just going to click over into column B, and this is going to be 2013 and then 2014. There is nothing in column D, so I'm just going to click and delete. And now I'm going to go ahead and type in the numbers. So I have 101, 256, 86783, and you'll notice in the instructions that there are commas. You don't need to type the commas in, it doesn't really matter. So I'm not even going to take the time to do that. And then we're going to type in for 2014. And so the process, even though we're doing a column chart, is exactly the same as with the pie. We have to use Excel to type in the data, and then the data they use to then create the chart. And then just as with my other chart, I have this extra column, which I don't need. So I'm going to click on this little arrow in the corner and just drag it back. So I don't have that extra column anymore. Only the data that's in the shaded area is going to end up in my chart. So once I've typed everything in, then I can go ahead and click here. Oh, click the X to close it. It says in steps 8F, or 8E, excuse me, to delete the chart title. So I'm going to just click on it and press delete, and it goes away because my chart title is actually up here. And then it says to click the chart elements button on the right, which is the plus sign, and it says to click legend. We want the legend to be on the top right, so we want top right, and then we want the option that says uncheck this box, uncheck the show the legend without overlapping. And we are pretty much done with that. So now we're going to click on the shape fill button. So we're going to go up to the format tab, and it's okay if this is open, it doesn't matter. We're going to go to where it says shape fill, and we are looking for brown accent to darker 50%, which happens to be one more down. Oh, it's the very darkest brown. Brown accent to darker 50%. So we click that, and you notice now that the background of my legend, where 2013 and 14 are, it has like a brown background, so it stands out a little bit more. And now we want to select the chart frame, which is just this outside area. We don't want the little dots around this square we were working with earlier. And we want to do the same thing. We're going to change the fill background. So we're going to go back up to shape fill, and we're looking for teal accent 1, darker 50%, which is the one right next to the brown one we chose. Bottom one of this teal backgrounds. And then we can go ahead and increase the font size of the legend. So we're going to click on that. I'm going to just right click, go to font, and we want to make the font size 18. And then we're going to do the same for the axes. So I'm going to click right over here where these numbers are. That's our vertical axis. And I'm going to right click, right click and go to font. We want to change the font to 18. And then I'm going to click the horizontal axis, which is the names of the jobs. I'm going to go right click and font, and I'm going to change that to size 18 as well. So I just did step 8I. Oh, I'm sorry, it says for the horizontal we want the size to be 20, so I have to go back, change it to 20. So now I just did step J. And now we're going to go on to slide number 6. And we're going to apply a style to the picture. So I'm actually in step 8K. I'm going to click on the picture, and I'm going to go up to the Format tab. And here are all my picture styles. I'm looking for moderate frame black. So I don't have it here. I have to click on my More button. And then it's the black frame. It's kind of a rectangle, not too thick. On to step number 9. It says on slide number 6, insert word art text. So we're going to go to the Insert tab, which is where all my objects are. And I'm going to click on word art. And I'm looking for the fill white text 1 outline, hard shadow background 1, which is this one. So it's the white with the black outline with the kind of a thicker shadow. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to type the text that it shows in step 9B. Employees are, with a capital A, valuable. And then I'm going to move it. So I'm going to make sure your mouse is a 4-sided arrow. Oops, not the picture. Undo that. I'm going to click on the words and move the words up above the picture. And then I'm going to go to the text effects option, which is on the Format tab. And I'm going to add a shadow. So shape effects is right off the center of the toolbar. I'm going to go down to where it says shadow, and I'm looking for the offset diagonal bottom right. So you're looking for offset diagonal bottom right. Oh, of course it's the last one that I choose. It's the first one in the outer section. So we're adding a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm going to change the text outline to make it a little bit darker. So with the word art selected and on the Format tab, we're going to go to the button that says text outline, and we're looking for black background 2. We're going to choose that. Doesn't look very different. And we're going to add a few more text boxes with some salaries figures. So we're on to step number 10. So it says insert text boxes. So now instead of word art, we're going to still add text, but it's not going to be this graphic. So we're going to just kind of click somewhere in the blank area of the slide, go back to the Insert tab, and now we're going to go to text box. And all you need to do when you click text box, just put your mouse where you kind of want it to go and just click, and then you'll see a little box, like 6 little squares pop up, and then you can start typing. So 74270, and for these numbers the commas do matter. And then we want to change the font color, so we're going to click on the right click, and we're going to go to where's my font? We'll go to the home tab and we'll just do it from here. So we're going to change the font from here. We're going to make it size 20, and then we're going to make it bold, and we're going to change it to black. So the color is this A with the drop down, and we want it to be black. And we want this number to be right under the first person. And then we're going to make some duplicates of the text box so that we don't have to reformat. And so to do that, this is sort of copying and pasting in one step. We're going to just hit Control D. And we're going to do it 3 times because we're going to have 3 different salaries for each of the 4 people in this picture. So we're going to move them over. So we're going to just click and drag. And then once we get them positioned where we want, then we can highlight and type. So 62844 under the girl with the black suit, under the girl with the white shirt, 54340, and under the guy with the tie and the white shirt, we're going to make it 48982. And they're all bold, size 20. And now we're going to do some arranging. So we're going to select all the boxes. We want all the numbers to line up basically. So I'm going to click the first number, and I'm going to hold the shift key down and then click the other 3, and that allows me to select multiple objects at the same time. We did this in Word, and hopefully this kind of reminds you. And then on the Format tab you have this button that says Arrange. We're going to click Arrange, and we want to align, and we want to align them so that they all line up from the bottom. Okay. And that particular box was a little higher than the others, which you could see it brought them all down. Okay. And we're going to click off the numbers, and we're pretty much done editing the slides. The last thing we're going to do is to apply a transition. So we're going to go up to Transitions, and we're going to go and look for Blinds, which is not on my toolbar, so I'm going to click the More button, and I'm looking for the blinds, which is under the Exciting, and then under Effect Options, I don't need to do that to any of them. I'm actually going to go here and hit Control A so that I can do the same thing now and apply it to all. So I'm going to click the More button and go to Blinds. I should have done the Select All at the beginning and I forgot. But now I just want slide 6. The last part of step 11 says to apply the zoom transition to just the last slide. So I want to make sure that none of the other slides have the red outline, just choosing slide 6. And then I'm going to go to Transitions, and I'm going to look for Zoom. So only slide 6 will have that effect. And we are done. So we're going to save and go ahead and upload.